Alrighty, in this video tutorial, we're going to share with you two functions in InkSoft. We're going to talk about the order process in the orders tool. We're also going to talk about the reporting functions in InkSoft. So to begin, once I log in at the very topmost navigation, I'll have the option for orders and reports. So if I select orders, this is going to give me the opportunity to read a description of the order processes in InkSoft. There's 5 shipping phases, if you will. So the first phase is, we've received an order, we have to approve it, and we also have the option to outsource it at that particular stage in the event that that's something that you have selected to do to enable outsourcing. Well, once we approve an order, we have to order the product. So if somebody ordered 5 hoodies, we have to order those 5 hoodies because this is a print-on-demand system. So effectively, once we approve orders, then we can compile those orders and prepare an Excel file or an email and send it out to our supplier so we can place those orders. Once we've done that and it's received to our facility, we can acknowledge that. We can tell our team, our production team, hey, we've received products for these orders. Now we're ready to go on to the print production phase. Of course, after printing, the last step in the workflow is shipping the orders. So again, here's your descriptions. Now notice on the left-hand side, I can go ahead and click on these buckets. So I can go to print products. I can see what orders need to be printed by selecting that particular bucket. Well, I'm going to go to the very top here and I'm going to go to approve orders. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to select an order in question, the order that we want to approve. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, this is the order number. It shows you the date, time, the store that this order generated from, the customer name, contact information, all the details about the transaction. So what I can do is I can click on an order just by selecting or clicking on the order number, and it's going to open up that order in a new window. And effectively at the very top, it's going to display which web store it originated from. So if this order were placed at Butler Bulldogs or Cheer Gear or Custom Temporary Tattoos, whatever website, it would display the logo for that website that you've selected and also the colors. So it's going to be very visible in terms of knowing where this originated from. Now we're going to work it from top to bottom here. And you can see this is pretty straightforward, very simple. What I can do is I can print off a work order. This is an excellent thing to give to your production team or put in the production queue so you know how the graphic is oriented, what product it's on, all the details associated with this order. Well, the next button allows me to generate a packing slip. And this is something that you're going to want to stick in the outgoing order. And this is really sort of a client acknowledgement, sort of a receipt of their transaction. It shows them all their details, the product, and also the graphic. So now the other thing I can do is as I maneuver down here, I can click on the actual product and product image. So this is a thumbnail, and if I click on that, that's going to allow me to get a large preview of that particular product and graphics. So you can see how it's oriented, in the event that it's a left chest design or it's a small design, I can quickly and easily see what it looks like. Now you'll also notice there's an option to edit, and if I click edit, that's going to open up this product and this graphic in the design studio so I can edit that particular design. So I'll go ahead and make that selection. So we'll let the design studio load here. And effectively the product that was ordered is going to load, and then the design is also going to load. So this is really useful if the client calls you and says, hey, we need to make a change. Can we make this all black? Or whatever the process may be. So you can go in here and actually change the theme or the design. We can save this and re-render it. So it's we can go on to production. So that is the ability to edit a design, which saves you a lot of steps in the production workflow. You don't have to take it into Corel or Illustrator and manipulate those vector designs. You can do it right in the design studio easily and elegantly. So that's a nice little function. So let's return back to that order. So that was order 9, I think it was 82. So let's go back here, 9282. So we'll close down these windows here. So now that we're back at the order, the next function that is important is obviously getting the graphic content for this particular job. So you can see to the right of the product image where my mouse is hovering, it says rendered designs. And in this particular case, this is a vector design. So I have a vector SVG, a vector scalable graphic file. Then I also have 3 digital images. I have a raster PNG, I have a layered PDF, and I have a heat transfer. And this heat transfer, these 2 files were created for the Magic Touch WOW process. It's a transfer process for dark garments. So it's a mirror and a mask. So if you're a Magic Touch user, those would be good files for you to download. So what I can do is I can download either the layered PDF, which would contain the vector content. I can also download the vector SVG file. So I'll go ahead and download that, and I'll open it up so you can see what this looks like. So we'll go ahead and launch this into Adobe Illustrator and show you this as a vector file. in Illustrator. Of course, you could do the same in Corel. You could drag and drop into CorelDRAW, and you can also go File, Import, and select your file format. So that's where you'll access your actual production file, your art content for this particular transaction. Now at the bottom, what I can do is I can click Approve Order. In the event that you've enabled outsourcing, you can also click Outsource, and once you do that, at the very bottom of the same page, you're going to see the options to outsource. You can choose your vendor, your source. It's going to show you costing. It's going to show you your net profit for that particular transaction. So that's the workflow as it relates to approving an order. So let's go ahead and launch Illustrator. So now that we're in Adobe Illustrator, you can see here's that vector file from that transaction, and if I go to the outline mode, you can see what that looks like in terms of a vector file. So let's go back to the workflow here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to approve this order, and that's going to move it to the next bucket, which is what? That's going to be Order Product. So what I can do now is I can click Order Product, and I've already approved 2 other designs. So now we have a total of 3 designs here. You can see, it shows you our product cost total, quantity, and all the other details. So what I can do is I can mark all of these at the very top. I can click the topmost box, and I can go ahead and select all of the orders. And what I could do at this stage is I could do a number of things. I could generate an Excel file. So I have the option to generate an Excel file. I can view the product listing. So when I click View Product Listing, you'll notice that it populates all the products here in this window. So it kind of gives me a sense of what I need to order, what's going on. And then again, I can generate an Excel file. So it's going to put all of this into an Excel file. And you'll notice that there's 2 Excel files. So for lower versions of Excel, and then 2007. So 2000 and 2007 versions of Excel. I can also email. So I can click Email Order Products, and this will open up a new window where I can shoot an email right to my supplier. So you can see at the very bottom left it says Send Order Product Email. And that would send all the product details to my supplier. So pretty nice little function built right into the order management and product management. So at this stage, what I can do now that I've placed my order for these products, I'm going to go ahead and mark these as ordered. So once I click Mark as Ordered, that's going to shuffle these orders down to the next bucket. So you can see now there are no confirmed orders found under the order product phase because I've just shuffled those 3 orders down to the receive product stage. So what I can do now is I can say, okay, UPS delivered these 3 boxes. I have the goods to then print. So what I can do is select these products. I can move to the print product phase in this process. So I'm going to move these to print products. And now if I click on print products, this is where your client or your production team could go and find all of the files that are ready to be printed because they know that the inventory has landed and has arrived and they're ready to go on to production. So here I have access to all of the orders that are ready to print. And of course I can go ahead and select one of those and I'm going to get the same product details. So I can go and retrieve the graphic from this particular window so your team can log in here and grab the graphics as well. So of course the last stage in this is to ship the product. So once you move an order down to this bucket, I can go ahead and select it, I can put in the tracking information, and I can send a notification that it has been shipped. So there's a few other buckets here that are important. We have completed orders, so the orders that have been processed and shipped. We have canceled orders. We have unauthorized, so if you have a purchase order that's unauthorized and you don't approve it, it's going to be under the unauthorized function here. So the last function I want to talk about that's really important is shopping carts. And these are people that have been in your web store and they've actually saved their content. So they're actually designing their shopping, they just haven't committed yet. So we also call this a shopping cart abandoned. So in the event that somebody's in here monkeying around and they take the time to save their file, if you click on that particular order number, it's going to show you what they were designing. So you can see somebody named Mike was designing in here, Mike W. And Mike was designing an apron and a tote bag, and he didn't complete his transaction. So this is a $43 order. I can click Send Email at the very bottom. So notice where my mouse is hovering. I'm going to click Send Email. And what I can do is I can send a shopping cart abandoned message. And you can, of course, design your own. That's going to be under email templates. You can use some of the stock messages, or you can create your own. So I can send template, and here's what it's going to say. It's going to say, Acme Apparel Company special offer. Did you forget to complete your order? If so, return and finish the process to place your order. And it has a link, and you can see that link. That's an exacting link right back to their cart. So if I take this and I go and populate that in a new window, that's going to take me right back to the cart for that particular transaction. So this is a great place to put in a discount coupon to get people motivated and incentivized to come back to complete their purchase. Really powerful tool sets. So that's the shopping cart abandon function, and that about covers it for the order workflow within InkSoft. You can see it's very, very straightforward, very easy. Now let's talk about a few other functions that relate to orders. One thing I want to talk about that I think is pretty important is, when I click on one of these orders and I click on print packing slip, you'll notice at the very bottom there's a message. You actually have the ability to define and personalize your own message to go in the footer of this packing slip. So if you want to put in some text and put, thanks for your order, we appreciate your business, return to learn about our specials, or you want to put care instructions or whatever it may be, you have the option to dial in the information at the footer of this particular packing slips. So let me show you how to do that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to move over to the config. I'm going to click config from my main workspace here. All right, so from the main configuration window, what we can do is we can click on store controls. Now you can do this for every one of your customer stores. So when I click on store controls, I have the ability to go to the general option and click on policies and custom content. And of course, this is an area for you to dial in your policies. You can put in some custom text above the design menus, above the product menus. Really great opportunity for you to do a lot of things for search engine optimization, putting in actual text. So here I put in a YouTube video on my designs page, and I'll show you that in a minute. And I've also put in some text, so you can take advantage of this real estate here. But what I want to point out is the orders tab. So if I click on orders, here's my packing slip footer. So of course I could put care instructions, I could put email addresses, I could put in all sorts of information for the client that I want them to receive inside the packing slip. So that's where you would define your custom packing slip footer. Otherwise it's going to adopt our generic or our general footer, which is, we strive to ensure color accuracy, etc. So make sure to dial that into your preferences. Okay, that's the last function as it relates to orders. Let's move on to reports. Now, before we get too far, I want to preface, since we're in this config area, that you have the ability to create a store commission and a salesperson commission for every one of your customer stores. And some of the reporting tools that are available to you in InkSoft allow you to generate those reports, store commission reports, salesperson commission reports. So I want to point out that you have the ability to enable store commission and salesperson commission for every customer store. So from store controls, from the general tab, I'm going to go to store information. And in store information, I have the ability to scroll down to the bottom. And here we can do a number of things. We can do a price markup, so I can mark up all of my static pricing by 2%. But I can also click on this commission information. So I'll go ahead and tick that option to enter in commission. And here I can dial in the store commission. So we're going to pay the store a revenue share of 12% for every order generated. I'm also going to pay my salesperson, Mike, 2.5% from every order generated as a way to incentivize my sales team to maintain these relationships and set up these web stores. I'll go ahead and save those changes. And at the point that I do that, that store information has now been updated. So again, store controls, general store information, and you can assign a store commission for a fundraising program or a revenue share. You can also assign a salesperson commission. Now, back to the main navigation at the very, very top, I can click on reports. And here's where I can generate my reports. So what I can do is at the very top, you notice where my mouse is hovering, I can click on one of these reports under available reports. And I can look at site traffic. So I can look at site traffic for yesterday. I can do a site traffic for the month. So you can see all of the activities here displaying. So you can see that there was a total of 346 page views. There's about 173 people or 173 views a day. So it's a great way for you to get a sense of how your marketing strategy is working and what's going on. So again, you can look at yesterday's traffic, weekly traffic, last week's traffic, and last month's traffic. You can also do a sales report. So this is going to give you some data as it relates to selling activities. So notice when you click on a report, you can generally do a date range. So I can click on a date range. So from the 1st of January to the end of February, we're going to pay store commissions, or we're going to look at our sales activities. So I can go ahead and view a report and then print it off from that stage. Now I want to focus in on the outsourcing, the store commission and salesperson commission reports. So this is a great and an easy way to account for these fundraisers and for these revenue shares. So I can go from the first of the month to the end of the month, whatever it may be. Now I can go and choose all of my stores. So I can click on the topmost store, hold down my shift key, and go to the bottom and select all of those stores and generate a report. Or I can go and cherry pick, hold down my control key, or if you're on a Mac, hold down your command key, and you can go and just target and cherry pick certain stores. So you can see I can just go and select the stores that I want, and at that stage I can click View or Print Detail Report, and effectively this is going to paginate all of your reports. So you can see this window here. This isn't obviously very easy to see, but what you can do is go File, and you can go Print, and you can do a preview. And this is going to show you these reports put into an 8.5 by 11, so it's already formatted. And of course, I don't have any transactions because this is a fake, fake store here. But effectively, this is going to show you the store logo. So you can see if I click on Butler Bulldogs, it brings in the store logo. It says Butler Bulldog Commission Report. It shows the date of orders, the order ID, the order, all the order information, and then it gives the commission amount that you've committed to the store. So remember, we just changed the Acme Apparel Company store commission from 10% to 12%. So it reflects the commission amount that we committed. It shows the subtotal, and that excludes shipping and tax. You're not going to pay revenue shares on those fixed costs. And then it gives the commission amount that's due. So it makes the accounting very easy. You would know exactly what amount to write to the school or to the organization, and you could provide them this report, and it makes that process very, very easy. So the reporting tools are robust. You can always count on more reports being made available as the system develops and grows, as there's more data. We will showcase and provide more reporting tools. Now, one of my favorite tools is the ability to do a discount overview. So here I have the opportunity to choose a date range again, and I can go and show, summarize by store, so I can see what discount programs have been effective. I can also associate certain, maybe revenue shares to a discount program. So if there's a famous, graphic designer in my area, and we're going to sell 5 T-shirts with his exclusive designs, and we're going to do an automatic discount code. So when somebody buys one of those T-shirts, it's automatically tracked. So some pretty powerful controls in the system as it relates to discount code tracking. So that about sums it up for the orders and the reports functions in InkSoft. As you can see, pretty straightforward and robust. And make certain to experiment with these and use these, as they provide a lot of value.